The OP-05 reveals just keep getting better and better, and today we've seen the last two super rares. As you guys know, we typically get 10 super rares in every set, and one of the super rares that were revealed was another Rob Lucci. Now, of course, you guys know that we have Rob Lucci from back in OP-03, but since then, CP hasn't been getting quite as much love. But now, with this new card, this single-handedly brings back CP. Now, here's the thing. In OP-03, if you want to play the CP engine or the Navy engine, Lucci. I've been playing way too much Red Purple Luffy, so Luffy's on my mind. Lucci kind of falls off in OP-04, right? Like, let's call a spade a spade. If you guys have been keeping up with the OP-04 meta, if you guys have played it yourself, you'll very quickly find that if you want to play a black deck that can deal with some of the threats in the meta, you're probably going to lean towards Rebecca and not Rob Lucci, which is unfortunate. However, with this new Rob Lucci character card, you can definitely say, welcome back to Rob Lucci. And I know for a fact, I have to give a shout out to Gavin from Straw Hats Are Cool. Shout outs to him. He performed, I think he got a top 32 in regionals with his Lucci list here in OP-03. I already know, I haven't spoken to him, but I already know that, when he seen this card, he was probably popping off, to say the least. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Why am I so excited about it? So first off, its stat line is amazing. Right off the bat, we don't get many cards in the game that have this stat line. 4 cost, 6,000 power. On play, you may place 3 cards from your trash. Remember that. To the bottom of your deck in any order. KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less, and one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less. This is so powerful. This is so good because of the boogeyman. I don't need to talk about it for too long because I'm sure you guys all know who I'm talking about. Zoro. I know some people are saying, yeah, OP-04, Zoro, whatever. No, Zoro is still very strong. Ask anybody in Asia that is playing the game. They will all say Zoro is still one of, if not the top deck in OP-04. Of course, it loses to Rebecca, but it's still very formidable. Okay, Zoro is there. Now, heading into OP-05, we can definitely see them continuing to do things to buff the other colors rather than nerf colors, as we discussed before in the past. And this Rob Lucci is no exception. This single-handedly will now give Rob Lucci a better matchup going up against Zoro, but also Law. And both of those matchups, I do this all in one take, you feel me? Both of those matchups are really bad for Lucci. So if you think about Lucci's bad matchups, right? The ones right off the top of my head are easily Law, Zoro, and Katakuri, right? Like those, like yellow, those are going to be your difficult matchups. However, now, if obviously the consistency in which you see this card is going to vary, we'll talk a little bit more about this though, this one card alone will allow that matchup that at one point felt almost impossible to deal with to now being at least playable, right? Now you have your Rob Lucci, you put that in conjunction with your Kaku, and all of a sudden you have pretty good board control when your opponent is trying to go wide on you, very similarly as when Zoro and Law do. Now, of course, yellow decks keep getting stronger and stronger, and so you have to hope that you don't run into too many of them. But without a doubt, obviously, it's a matchup that you would, you don't hate it as much, right? I think we can all agree, us black players, we can all agree that it's not as painful when you sit down in front of a yellow player compared to a red player, especially if they know what they're doing with Zoro. So the stat line is amazing, the effect is amazing, but the big thing is that it's 4 cost. What does this mean? This means it is an air door target. Yes, it has the exact same stat line as Kumadori. But Kumadori has 1k counter. This card doesn't. But you would definitely give up a 1k counter for an effect like this. This is just absolutely amazing, right? It's absurd how good this card is. And you can get it off air door. This is pretty much power creep, but you need it. Like, you need this, right? Like, black need this. Rob needed this, okay? Like, again, I'm not here to hate. As long as every other color other than red gets some love, I am all for it. Similarly to this 7 cost kid, right? I think that this Lucci is absolutely amazing. I think the fact that it can be played with Air Door, and then the fact that you can place 3 cards from your trash at the bottom of the deck to activate the ability is huge, right? It doesn't need to be CP cards like some of the other CP cards state, right? It could just be 3 cards, period. Meaning that if you do hit this in Air Door, its effect is live. If you go second, you Air Door, you hit this, you develop a body with Air Door, and then you can pop 2 cards on the board, right? Or if you just go second, depending on how the first turn went and all of those things, you might have an avenue in which you can play this. And the beauty of this is, not only is it fine to play in the early game, but this is just a great card for you to play in the mid to late game, right? With 4 Dawn, even if you're at 10 Dawn, if you're at the 9 Dawn, 10 Dawn mark, for 4 Dawn, that still gives you more than enough Dawn to play around and make other plays as well and continue to get rid of things on the board, right? And say, for example, if you're facing Zoro, you can go ahead and slam him down. You can go ahead and use a Kaku as well in the late game, right? You could use this if you're playing Navy for some reason, you want to mix and match. You could use a Garp. There's many things that you could do because the cost of this is so low, right? Like if this was a 5 cost card or 6 cost card or something with this ability, then it'd be like, you know what I mean? Hopefully you guys get what I'm saying. But the fact that it's only 4 cost, I feel is absolutely amazing. I'm extremely excited to play this. As you guys know, if you guys watch my singles video, you guys seen that I bought a ton of stuff for my Rob Lucci list. Got that alt art and everything on deck. So you already know that I will be picking up 4 copies of this whenever we get OP-05 in the oh so distant future. But with that being said, what do you guys think about this Rob Lucci? Let me know in the comment section below. I am out. Peace.